Booyah! Episode 24 is here. I can't believe this is we're almost at episode 25. That's pretty wild. We're a little bit over a year now since the first episode started coming out. So it's been a process, and I really appreciate those of you who've been watching all along. Super cool. Since the last video, I have been checking some stuff off. I have mounted the fuel cell with a little drain right here, so I can put 93 in it and race gas in it and swap them out. This is just the rollover vent. I'll show you that up top when I lower the car back down. We got fuel lines now. Let me grab a light. We got our fuel lines run through. I could not get the vibrant fastener, like hose fastener stuff that I wanted because they're not in stock. So I did just wire tie this stuff up to the 25.5 floor bars for now. But that's all run. The fuel system is sealed. I got the shift cable on. I still have to come up with something for a grommet or something right here to seal up the hole that it passes through on the tunnel. That's looking good. So, let me lower it down. I'll show you guys some of this progress up top, and then we're going to get to welding on the intercooler and the hot side. Here is the fuel cell and all the lines and stuff. This is that rollover vent. Put a little loop-de-loop in it. There's a ball valve right here, and like I showed you down there underneath, it just drops out of the body. So here's my feed. Goes into the 260 gallon per hour rated Holley filter and through the floor. And then this is the return line. This is so dash 10 and dash 6. And then this is just the wiring. It's got dual stage pumps and stuff, so that's cool. Here's the what you can see of the drain valve that poked through the floor really nice. Capped here and capped here. I'm not using those. And then this is my fill. You guys I think saw that in another video. She's all mounted up. And then here's my top side of the shifter cable. Nothing too exciting there. Here is the fuel line routing. I gotta make sure I have enough clearance under these for the valve covers, which by the way I did see yesterday that the valve covers shipped, I believe. I don't have tracking yet on them, but that is so awesome because I hate this saran wrap. It's driving me nuts. So I'll finally be able to seal the engine up. Feed line, there's the return. I got a dash 10 crossover here in the front, and then at the back of the driver's rail it's a dash 8 into the regulator, and then a 6 back to the fuel cell. And here's those 30-inch extensions from ICT that I was talking about in the last video for the coils. Those are so clean, man. I put those on late last night. I was out here till like 2 a.m. and those things, I was shocked how nice they are. Look at that. So my plan for this side is when I get my valve covers and I make my breather line come up over the header into the valve cover, I'll just be able to wire tie this line, or this wire harness for the coils to the bottom of the AN line and plug it in over here where the factory stuff is. That'll be super slick. And then right here, this is new. This is all 4-inch aluminum. I got my Vangens on there, both sides. The Precision 66, I think. What is this thing? I don't remember if it's a 64 or 66, but that came off of Tom's old Fox body. I bought it off of him like couple years ago. Got that mounted. Got the Rife IAT sensor in there. So this pipe is actually done. The throttle body's welded inside, so I'm good till here. And then all this stuff has to be welded. Same with this side. This is just tacked on here. I ended up getting rid of the V-band because I didn't want to do a V-band here and then the Vangin right here. It's just really congested. So I'm going to solid mount this pipe on the end tank and then run just the single Vangin because it has some maneuverability in there with the gap between the flanges. So if anything needs to move, it can. It shouldn't crack anything. I did have to move the wastegate just a little bit this way to clear the Vangin clamp. That's all done. And I think that's about it for stuff that I did off camera. Fuel feed, return. Oh, I did my MAC valves. I don't know if these will end up staying here or not, but it'd be a pretty good shot to come in through the heater delete panel with this from the CO2 bottle, and then out of this to the gate, along this bar maybe, over to the gate with the 1/4 inch push lock line. So what I'm going to do now is I got to take the headers off, the whole hot side off, and I'm going to get set up to do some back purging, and we'll get that all welded up in this episode. And then I'm going to start also on the intercooler, get that all done too today, hopefully. So I got the whole hot side off. I'm going to, first thing I'm going to do I think is I'm going to tack a whole bunch of spots, because I think most of these pieces are just tacked in 3 spots. And if I just started fully welding it, it would have way more of a tendency to warp and change the fit up on this stuff, and then it wouldn't work. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to do a whole bunch of tacks, and then I will start back purging and doing the full welding. Got all those tacks done. Had a little problem with the fan on the front of the welder was blowing on top of the table and blowing my argon away, so I have a couple crappy tacks before I figured that out. And I pulled the table away. But anyway, here's stage 1 or phase 1, whatever you want to call it. I got a lot of pieces to do, but of the back purge. I made this T6 kind of flange thing to hook the back purge line into. Tin foil there, some tin foil here, and then I found the paint cap that fits in here pretty good, and I don't have to do any welding here, so it shouldn't get hot. I just have to do this one seam on the other primary tube here. So it should be all sealed up, and when I get to the last couple welds, I'll just poke a hole in the tin foil so that that argon has somewhere to go and it doesn't splatter back at me when I'm welding. There we go, we'll purge that for a minute and start welding. I'm gonna go sharpen my tungsten. Got that first piece done. Looks perfect, man. It back purged really nice too. So I stopped for a minute because all of my next pieces have a 2.5 inch V-band on them. Both of the headers and the the two pieces that are part of the hot side. And I didn't have a good way to back purge them, so because I have a 3 inch V-band that I did like this and the T6 flange, but I didn't have a 2.5, so I just made this really quick, and I'm gonna start back purging these pieces now and be done in a few. It's all welded up. Look at these freaking colors on this stuff, man. Woo! The slip joints did flex, or not flex, but I don't know, they just moved a little bit. So I should have had probably a piece of tube inside of them when I welded them. I had to put some anti-seize on them to slip them back together and kind of get them so I had some movement that was easy to do for install. But it's in there. All the V-bands are tight and all the header bolts are in gaskets. The turbo flange bolts are in. I should have taken the turbo out and painted this. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna put paint on this now, but probably just get some cardboard and spray it out individually. So where I'm at now is I'm in the middle right now of taking the intercooler out. I've already drawn a circle for this hard pipe that's going to go on the end tank, and once I get that off I can make my holes after I cut the tacks for the end tanks off, and I can work on the end tanks on the table, put the holes in them. I got some tubing to do some braces inside the tanks. I got that idea from Damien. So yeah, I'm gonna get this off of here and punch some holes in it, do some welding. I got my end tanks are all welded inside and out, and for a lack of better way to cut this hole out for the this is the inlet side on the turbo side, I ended up just marking the inside diameter of the tube and then using a 1/4 inch drill and going all the way around a million friggin' times. So now I'm going to cut 2 slices in it with the whiz wheel, and I should be able to knock the quarters out of it, the triangles, and then I can use a die grinder and smooth all that out. couldn't use a hole saw because my 4-inch hole saw is outer diameter and I don't want the tube to slide through it. I kind of want to have a nice surface to have it set butt up to and then weld it inside and out. Man, that thing is still hot. Let me get some gloves. Uh-oh, see this is bending here. Is that in frame? Yeah, I'm gonna bend. This will bend a little bit. I'll have to straighten it out afterwards. Go. I just used this die grinder and I got all those teeth out. So now I'm gonna just put a brace inside the tank from like right here. Oh, you can see my pinky finger from here to here. And then I'll tack it back on the tank. And then I'm going to do the other side. Then I'm going to put it back in the car and just fit my piping, tack the piping, take it back out, fully weld the piping, we're done. Got my brace in there. I wanted 1/2-inch solid aluminum, but when I went to the store they didn't have any, so this is 3/4 OD 1/16 wall, and I marked the tank where there's a bar on it instead of the fins for airflow, so at least I'm not blocking too much, but obviously that will be in the way somewhat, but it's going to keep the tank from expanding because we're going to be running some serious boost on the old Burgundy. I don't know if it's totally necessary, but I'd rather have it and not need it than blow the tanks apart on this thing. So I'm going to get that tacked on to the... Actually, I might just start this one, get the hole in it, brace it, and then I'll tack them both on the cooler core. Do a mock-up for the pipes. Alright guys, I just fast forwarded like 3 hours because this thing kicked my butt. But it's all done. I can't, it's freaking awesome. It's still hot actually on that end. Came out really good. So, next step. Look at those beads. Dang gum. Next step is I just have to weld the other half of the Vangeon on the compressor housing right here, and then I'm gonna put that intercooler on here and show you guys that. Alright you guys, that's a wrap. Episode 24 is in the books. I'm super stoked on how the piping all came out and the intercooler. And I can't wait to hear this thing fire. So I'm going to go edit the video, and while you're watching this I'll be plugging away on it. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Episode 25. See ya.